Oh, hey, buddy. Happy birthday. No worries. Yeah, no worries. I got it. Um, so the post-it notes that I got for the dates, um, those are individual dates. They're not like the week of the like June 6th, 13th through the 16th. Okay. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that the notes here were individual dates and not like a whole week. Okay, cool, cool. Sweet, yeah, I don't see any problem with that. I'll just have to give him a call and let him know. Yeah, yeah. Well, I hope that goes well. Oh, cool. All right, buddy. All right. Hello, everybody. This is Mickey Mal with CartoonMoneyPrinters.com. Sorry about the phone call that I hot mic'd just a moment ago. Today is May 15th, 2025. Um, let's see here. I am joined with KerMixAlot and Astronaut Toad. So why don't you go ahead and say hey, guys?
What's up? What's up?
Sweet.
Yeah, and Astronaut, if you got anything to interject, feel free. It's just us, so
Yeah, we're
kind
gonna
of a little
we're gonna
three-way
jump
here.
right into it, everybody. So go ahead and take it.
All right, so I am going to talk about how to identify whether a the day that you're going into in crypto is going to be sideways or a breakout. So there's two setups, and one is where you have a somewhat narrow CPR, which you can see here. I'm gonna take the screen a little bit bigger here. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm focused on this daily CPR, pretty thin, and it goes into a wide one. Okay, typically you want for what I'm talking about, you typically want the pivot to be almost like this exactly the same price from day to day, which it pretty much is right here. It's definitely close enough. Might be a difference of like $20 on Bitcoin. It's nothing. So you have a narrow CPR. This is not extremely narrow. That would be like over here, but this is, for the most part, narrow compared to this one. And so when this day opens and you see this wide CPR, then it's just telling you that it's going to stay within a range and be a sideways day for the most part. And you can clearly see the range here from up here. I'll go ahead and draw a box around that. All right. So you got your range here. That a little bit later. And I'm going to shut some stuff off here. Okay. That a lot later. All right, so you got your range. So coming into this day, which was a Tuesday, you basically plan for it to be sideways, most likely not going to break the range. So you play the range. So at the beginning, as it made a top and then it reversed, and then obviously looks like it's going to come back down. So you could have played that for a sideways, but not expected to come below the low of the previous day. So that is a sideways setup CPR wise. Here, same thing. The pivots are close enough, but they're a little bit further off from the last example. But nevertheless, it's narrow going into wider. Again, same thing. Here's your range from here to here. And again, for that day, it did not break that range. And that's what's going to happen about, I'd say about 80% of the time. Just like any indicator, they're never foolproof or 100%, but it's definitely a high percentage. And I would say greater than 70-75%. All right, so here is an example of wide into narrow, and that tells you it's going to be a breakout. Well, here's your range. It broke out, but it was a false breakout. But nevertheless, it did break out. It just didn't, just didn't get going into anything. But it did what it said it was going to do. It wasn't, a life-changing trade or anything, but you could have still made some money off of that. All right, here we go. I just pointed out some examples before we got started. Okay, here we go. Now this is a pretty good one. Wide into narrow. So what does that mean? Breakout. Right? And this could even be a little bit, overlapping, but really for these two scenarios, breakout, sideways and breakout, you want one to envelope the other. So you don't want this narrow one to be outside of the bottom of the wide one. And let's zoom in just to double check. And yeah, that is definitely inside. So that counts. And it's definitely kind of on the bearish side. So that told you there's going to be a breakout. And here's your range from here to here. And that definitely broke out. Now, even if you count it from breaking the wick right here, let's see how much we got on that one. So even if you count it from here, which not really fair because you would have probably got in the trade way before that, but that's nonetheless 4.4% move on Bitcoin. That's pretty damn good. So there is another successful breakout prediction from CPR. All right, so just a narrow bearish. I do want to point something out real quick, and I'll do another episode later. When all the CPRs are stacked and price leaves that stack, there's a good chance you're going to get a really good move. So you have a stacked monthly, a weekly, and then you have the dailies, but of course they're just way smaller. But price left the stacks here, had a good move. It tried to break above the stack and failed. And then as soon as it's leaving again, obviously you're not going to take a short on a $4,000 candle. That wouldn't be very smart. But anyway, as it left again and then it consolidated, you had a really nice move to the downside. So that's just something I wanted to throw in there. I'm going to look for some more examples of the sideways breakout setups. If you guys see any.
There's two right there.
Right here?
Yep.
Okay. Well, this isn't really wide. I mean, this is wide. This is kind of getting in the medium. This is like kind of getting in the medium. this is still very narrow. All right, so but I will talk on this, okay? And you guys can back test. Feel free to, call me out on it, send me something, whatever. But when you have a narrow CPR like this, like extremely narrow, and price did not go into a strong trend on that day, the chance of it not doing it the next day is like a 10% chance of it not doing. It's like a 90% success rate that you're going to get that trend move by the very least by the end of the following day from a narrow candle. And we could do a session one time where we're just looking for the narrow ones by themselves. But yeah, that's a like razor thin one going into a narrow one. So it you gotta put everything into context. Yeah, you could technically say that's supposed to be a sideways day, but I'll tell you this: if it says it's going to be a sideways day and it breaks out, then it's probably going to move hard. So keep that in mind as well. That technically doesn't count because it's outside of the range there. This is outside, although that was a good breakout, but I didn't want to use that as an example. Okay, so here it has everything, and it's probably one of the best moves that you'll see in our session right here. All right, so I really, really want to point this out. This is the monthly CPR right here, the charcoal. The gray is the weekly CPR right here, right? And you have a wide into narrow, right? So prediction of it being a breakout. So this is like A++ right here. So prediction of a breakout. Every CPR is stacked, and it consolidated below like the VWAP and the EMAs. And then as soon as this broke out, most people would think, oh, I'm not going to buy here. It's already made a move. Well, when that broke out, 82, let's see what we got. 82 to 74 in like 24 hours. So that was a $8,000 move. And that was when Bitcoin was only in the 80s and 70s. So that's a 10% move right there. You guys got any interjections or questions on it so far?
It's looking good. It just
All
has,
right.
yeah.
Okay. Good. So
Can you pull up par for that? Can you pull up par for that short setup and see if it gave a good signal?
There's a bear shit in the woods.
Yeah.
I would.
Hey,
love
look at
to,
that, a bear div.
I would love to look at par. Are you kidding me? Well, is that a bear div technically?
Yeah, it's a hidden bear div. That's my favorite.
Okay. Well, price higher to lower, indicator higher to lower, unless you're looking at
That intermediate one. That one.
You're
The red
looking at
one?
the red one
No.
down here.
After the main. No.
Okay.
The yellow ribbon. After the main spike, there's that hump. Yep, you're hovering over it right now.
Oh,
That
okay.
bump
Hold on.
to the
I
next
got it.
bump is giving you bear div, hidden bear div.
You know what happens with
Oh.
my brain sometimes, Toad, is that I'm focusing on this one that I miss this, and that's sometimes what
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that sometimes. But right
But-
here, right?
Yeah, so
Price.
Yeah.
at the end of it, that spike there is what we colloquially call the trigger wave.
Yeah. And yep, that's definitely a hidden bear div. Price was still lower, and this made a higher high here, and then you had a little
It's-
mini bear div, regular bear div right here. But right here, nonetheless, even if you missed that, right here you have the 15 to 30 crossing the 0 line, and you have the 4 hour, 5 hour, 12 hour, and daily all pointing down.
Aiming down.
Yeah.
So that's a really soft, like softballs pitch setup. It's just like,
yeah.
what would you do to enter that trade? Just kind of scale, just like start getting in that market, just kind of start going short and put your stops above some of those lines.
I mean, to be honest, with all this setup, as soon as price left that area, I mean, par helped, right? But man, this CPR wise, as soon as that left that area, you go all in, 5 Bitcoin, no, whatever, but you go all.
Not financial advice.
You go all
well,
in.
I could see entering.
And you put your stop over you could put it over the bottom, the weekly pivot right here. You don't even have to go to the monthly.
That looks
You
like
can put your stop
a 3 to
right
1 or
here.
a 4 to 1 right there.
Here, let's do the thing here. Short.
You didn't click it?
Yeah, I'd go short, like right at the close of that first fat candle there, or maybe the second one that kind of really confirms it on the par.
This is when the 15 and 30 cross the 0 line right here.
Do you want to tell people, point it out what the 0 line is?
Yeah. And then, see, would it have been just to here to capture that low? Or let's look back. See, I don't know where you would know how far to pull this down while you're setting up the trade. Because as a day trader, I'm looking and there's like nothing for weeks in this area. But I would just say, in my mind, as soon as it crosses this, I'm just going to hold on while the 4 hour, right, continues down. I mean, this is so steep right here, the 4 hour, that you got some time, right? And that's just from me with my, my experience with par, right? Like the 4 and 5 hour ribbon right here, that's steep. Like, that's going to be like, I can walk away for 2 hours. I don't have to worry about it. Other than that, I really, without looking back, I'm only on the 1 hour. I wouldn't really know where to set it, except for the fact, right here, you don't really have a lot of other pivot markers outside of this monthly. So that monthly did provide a really great TP area right there.
Looking back, you had a lower a level on Tuesday, March 11th. That would have been a good TP. And that one would have been at 76,000. That's where the most local liquidity was. Aside from that, with that move, front ran a few fair value gaps that I had in that area on the daily.
Yeah, I mean, if you TP'd right here, and I think that was where VWAP was at the time too. So, yeah, if you TP'd at 76 after shorting at 84, 83, who the hell's going to complain?
Yeah. Well, point being is there were levels there. Subtle. I mean, but there were easily TP levels if you look back on the daily. If you zoomed out on the time frames.
All right, so so if you guys see that, that's definitely A+. All right, now I want to look at, I mean, this isn't really thin, but it's inside, so it still counts as a breakout possibility, but you have wider into thinner, and it completely envelopes, and now we're focused on the weekly, the gray boxes. Right? So this is telling you there could be a breakout. The range from 88 to, down to 74 or whatever. And right
By the way,
here,
I checked that previous setup, and Market Smasher gave a short signal right there at where you pointed the white arrow.
beautiful. I'm
That's
telling you,
fucking awesome.
if the Smasher and the, setup, that's cool, man. It's really good.
Yeah, I've been using Smasher and Par. I need to use Smasher, Par, and pivots.
Yeah. CPR. I've been focusing a lot more just on the CPR. Let me say, CPR. It's giving me a bias, right? And then the pivots are gonna give me possible TP points, right? But I haven't really been using. You can see, like, I don't have the pivot lines like 1 through 6. This would be like really, really, really busy right now if I had all those up. And that's the thing; they're really busy. So
Yeah, I like your
if
chart better like this.
if I know that it's going to be a breakout day, and par is starting to, if par is curling and we got all the time frames curling together, and it's telling me it's going to be a breakout day, then why the hell not, right? Go for it. So here was the breakout, and this was probably based off of that weekly prediction. There's also, all right, so here's another thing too. You have the weekly prediction breakout, right? You have a narrow one here. It tried, failed, right? And then you have a wide one here, so you got to say it's probably not going to happen this day, right? These are kind of medium, so it's kind of like, yeah, maybe not. Narrow, here I would have been tempted. And even if you got in here at 84.9 and it topped out at 85.6, I mean, I usually trim a little at 500. I don't know if I would have gotten out there. But nonetheless, if you wrote it down, even if you got stopped out, on this narrow one, when you got this reversal pattern, and it's now at the end of the week, that would have paid for any of these little $500 stops. This would have paid 10 times over. Because what was this move? Yeah, I mean, you didn't even have to get out here, but that was from 85 to 95. Oh, and look at the stack right here. We got, here it is again, monthly, weekly, and daily stack, and it just took off. Once it left the station, that train was moving. So, big volume, huge volume here.
Yeah, I was noticing
compared
that.
to, all the distribution got out here, a lot of, and then they got back in. Right. Okay, so here's a couple more. There's maybe one more. And all right, so this is another prediction of a breakout, wide to narrow. Here's your range from 95.6 to 93.3, unless you count this over here. So it came down, looked like it was going to break to the downside, and then once that bounced, again, it bounced right off the monthly pivot right here, and then it broke out. So from the break, now if you want to just wait for the breakout on these trades, set an alert. Set an alert near like this wick, maybe a few hundred points below it. You set an alert, Bitcoin breakout, and you could almost even just take it right before, as long as you got this, you got the volume and momentum going. What was the par looking like at that moment? Right here? Yeah, everything was heading up, except the daily had already dropped a little bit. But everything else was screaming upward. And you could have gotten from that breakout, was that 95.8 to 97.8. I mean, again, $2,000 move in less than a day. Not too shabby. All right, here's another one. Oh, okay. So here we are at current. Astronaut, do you have a market smasher for Bitcoin right now? Because, well, now the new day open, but we have the kind of wide to narrow breakout prediction here, and it failed to the downside. Again, bouncing off the monthly pivot. We got a 3 inside up right here. So to me, this is bullish. Do you have anything? Astronaut?
Oh,
Mickey?
he's deafened.
Oh, he is? Oh, okay.
I'll look for you.
If you want to pull it up.
I'm
curious.
What's the day on it?
Right now.
Oh.
I'm seeing if there's anything. Like right now. Like in the last, like looking at like a 4 hour.
I'm not sure if we have the same settings on the Smasher, but it squeezed earlier when it dropped down.
Okay.
And it looks like, let me try to zoom in here.
I'm gonna drop it down on the 1 hour.
It looks like it's kind of approaching another squeeze here in a moment. The next
Okay.
8 to 12 hours.
Well, just so you know, if you're trading, we have the version CPR right here at 10, 380, 395. So we're probably going to come and touch that. And that, right, I think it's going to come and touch the version. It's coming now. It's probably going to hit it any minute. Then you got the VWAP and you got the 50 EMA. I always get mixed up if it's 50 or 200. Okay, red is 50. I should just change it to fuchsia. There. Because I can say 50 fuchsia and 200 teal. Let's do that. Instead of green, teal. There we go. Kind of like a teal. So yeah, I think we're gonna come touch that. And for shits and giggles, I'll just put a long position. And maybe you can help me determine some levels. Maybe this would be the first TP right here. This is without having all my pivots up right now. Maybe like right there. Is there a way to mark that spot before I extend it more? Does it have that feature or no?
What do you mean?
Like right here without drawing a trend line. I mean, I can just draw a trend line. I just thought maybe there.
What is it? Command H. Get to your line and Command H. What the fuck?
No, that's not working.
You might have different hotkeys.
Yeah.
I think we tried that before.
Yeah, that's alright. I'll just, for right now, I'll just put a little. And then I'll.
Yeah, I'm looking at 105 is a definite TP if it's long.
Okay.
And also 103. Oh, hold on.
105.3, you mean?
No, it's 105 exactly.
Okay.
And then 105 500. Instead of dragging it, you can just type in the coordinates. Go to settings. You click the green arrow. And you can type the settings.
Click the green arrow.
I mean the green line. I'm tired.
Okay.
And then coordinates.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, 10500.
Okay.
Oh wait, you did the wrong one.
Well, I did one side. Okay, it's fine. And then maybe the top of that wick, maybe. I don't, you know.
And then 105.5.
I got, okay, 105.5. Alright, here we go. It's coming to touch the virgin. That's what it does. So yeah, that's definitely gonna touch. And I think that's trade setup. Unless it just falls through it.
That's a lot of volume.
A lot of volume.
It's a vector, is what I meant.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's gonna end up being, but it's only 7 minutes into the hour right now, so.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, well, I'm done. I think I got everything in. So.
Right. Astronaut Toad, did you want to do anything or add anything or look at anything?
No, but if you want to glance at the NASDAQ and apply the same premise of looking at the CPR, I'd love some insight.
Nasty 100.
I'm in a short from the high right now, and it's paying off quite nicely.
Where's the Oanda?
It's usually on the first page if you just type it in. Yeah, it's down there towards the bottom, or I saw it a second ago.
Oh, there it is.
Or just put in Oanda with the colon.
I mean, it's just stepping up and up and up, but the CPR, the daily CPRs are getting a little tired.
Yeah, so it's kind of like running out of steam, right?
Yeah. But it's also a thin and, you know. But this is not a breakout setup. So maybe just, I don't know. As far as the CPRs.
Do you ever look at 4-hour CPRs?
Yeah, you know, I tried trading. It gets too crazy. Yeah, you're talking about putting it instead of daily on the 4-hour? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, I usually skip the monthly and I go to the 4-hour, 1 day, and weekly.
Here.
Because the monthly pivot is less.
This is the 4-hour pivot. Wait, no. It's not the 4-hour pivot. Hold on. This should work. Oh, I gotta show it. Oh, you know what? Let's do it in this one. There we go. 4-hour pivots. 6 of them every day. That's a bearish. I mean, this is like a bearish U that I call with the CPR. Oh, and look, here we go. On the 4-hour,
inside.
You have an inside breakout prediction. So, I mean, if it gets below 21,229, but so here's where I would look at par to see if that's possible. Oh, and it totally is possible. Totally. Like, it might even, like, really, because you have the 4-hour coming off the overbought, and now it's really starting to turn south. So that is really, really possible. You might be able to stick this. Are you gonna be able to take out all but one contract? If that,
Yeah, I've already profited everything. I'm down to just 1 micro left,
perfect.
and I'm riding
So,
it towards that level, actually.
if you put your stop over the swing, you still in profit? Up here at 21,377, or maybe not. 21,360.
NASDAQ and MNQ have different numbers, but I believe what you're looking at, the 15 minute?
I'm looking at the
Oh,
15
let me
minute.
see.
Like, can you put your stop over this candle and still be in profit? The last 15-minute candle?
Yeah, that's right. That's where my stop is, in profit right there.
Okay.
And I'm
Perfect.
riding it to the low.
So, with what I see on par, I mean, you've got the daily way up here. That could really fall. I mean, this could be like a trade to make your week or month, dude.
Is that pivot also a virgin pivot, is what you were calling it earlier?
Right here?
The one that's in that, no, the 3 or 4 pivots back, the doji, all the choppy dojis.
No,
Or is that not the definition?
no. Virgin.
There's no. The virgin means that price.
Never touched it at all.
Right here, it was a virgin. See how price opened below without touching it? So
Okay.
for this 15 minutes, it was a virgin, and it only took 16 minutes to de-virginize.
Okay. I think what the term is a naked pivot, because that means that it ended without being like it has not been revisited since that pivot closed.
I think you can call it either. I like virgin.
Be careful what you're searching here. What is the meaning of
I just wanted. All right, let's do. What is the meaning?
Oh, dude.
What was that, Astronaut?
Yeah, well,
I was really afraid of what you were searching.
Yeah,
I was
dude,
not.
Me too.
I was covering my eyes.
Central pivot range is a technical. No, here, virgin.
What is the virgin CPR in trading? It was there. It's second from the bottom. On the feedback? Yeah, right there. Yeah.
It's a scenario where the price does not touch the CPR levels throughout the trading session. This indicates a strong trend as the price movement is significant enough to avoid pivot levels. A virgin CPR can signal a sustained trend. Yeah, and that's true too. So maybe. All right, now virgin CPR versus naked CPR. All right.
You're just really flying dangerous and not typing out adding central pivot range to your Google search.
Cute pussy range. All right. Cardiopulmonary resuscitation. All right. So, all right, here we go. Virgin CPR is the context of stock trading where price does not touch any of its central pivot range during a trading session. So maybe, just maybe, virgin means that it has to go the entire session.
Yeah.
And naked is, well,
it doesn't have the official definition, but I would assume that it means what we think it means, which is, in other trading terminology, it is when the end of that session never gets revisited. That's the term is usually point of control.
Right.
That's what you get a what they call a naked point of control.
Eyes.
Again, it's when price of a stock does not cross any of its CPR levels on that day. But it
Nasdaq's in a
doesn't-
1
it
minute
doesn't
squeeze
say-
right now.
It doesn't say it has to go the whole day, though. So, it's. I feel like there's some arguments can still be there. Let me get out of this save.
Oh, thank God.
My
My eyes.
Yeah, let's do naked CPR Investopedia, all right? That way, won't be any confusion on the internet here. Conditional prepayment rate. See, naked CPR is not really. I don't think that's really used, dude.
Let me
So-
ask. Draw.
Okay, ask Rock. See, CPR porn results.
Yeah, dude.
Ah,
yeah,
here
be
we go.
careful. You're in dangerous territory.
CPR naked hair conditioner. Okay, so Astronaut, I don't think naked CPR is not really a thing. Virgin CPR is.
I guess what
And-
we could take that to mean is that it's not. We could define it ourselves, but it's
Sure.
not really that useful. Either way, I'm holding my short down to that level somewhere where that that open-ended. Well, you got a VWAP there.
What about right here?
Yeah.
Can you write it down to 21,214?
Yeah, I guess I'll break down and
Dude, it's looking
pull up
good,
par and
man.
pivots and.
I think you're in a good trade. I wish I would have grabbed that with you. Where are
Yeah,
you trading?
Get yourself
where are you
a
trading?
prop firm.
Yeah, that's what I.
Apex.
where
So
else
I
can
got
you
the
trade?
definitions for you if you're ready.
Okay.
Virgin CPR definition: a virgin CPR occurs when the stock price does not touch or cross any of the CPR lines. Naked CPR
Right.
definition: a naked CPR is often synonymous with a virgin CPR in many trading contexts, referring to a CPR that has not been tested or touched by a price in a previous session.
So they're
it's a
they're
colloquial
synonymous.
difference. Yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah, they're synonymous. I like using Virgin CPR, and that's what most of the guys that do the videos. Of course, they're Indian, so they're Virgin CPRs, Bobs and Vagines. All right, give me Bobs. Show me your Bobs. All right. Well, damn it! I wish I was in that. I guess I got to get another. I want to start trading NAS 100. Where can I trade NAS 100 without a prop firm? I don't want to deal with that. Maybe
NAS
Ninja
100 is the ghetto version of NQ MNQ, so you can trade it almost anywhere with a tiny amount of money. I use a broker called Osprey FX, and that gets you on the trading platform called Trade Locker, and you can get in for just a few bucks like crypto.
You
But
don't
it
like-
does.
You don't like
charge
Ninja
you.
Trader?
I don't know. I've never tried it, but I think most of those, like Ninja
My
Trader
eyes.
and Tradeovate, they require. It depends on which asset they allow you to trade, but if you're trading some of them, they might require you to have like $2,500 in your account at all times.
Look,
Whereas with Osprey FX, you can deposit using Bitcoin or XRP, and you can trade that way, which allows you to trade totally anonymously, or relatively.
right here, $50 margin, and you could do 9-cent contracts.
For Ninja Trader.
Ninja Trader. I think.
Yeah, NAS 100 0.01 contract increments. Yeah, there you go.
Where does it say NAS 100?
I don't know. I'm just asking.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, if it's 9 cents, you ain't trading MNQ, because MNQ is like one micro and you're already like risking $50 on your trade or something.
No, you're doing tenth the size of e-minis and micro
Correct.
e-minis. Yeah.
Correct. Okay, so that's NAS 100, not MNQ.
Futures. Here, index futures. Here we go.
Put it in dark mode.
Dude, I'm not gonna put every site. You can handle it for 5 seconds. Go. E-mini, Nasdaq 100, but it says NQ.
Yeah, E-mini, I don't know. They're being vague about it.
They are. Okay, if it's NQ, then that's definitely not.
Okay, so NQ. Yeah, but you can't trade NQ or MNQ unless you have thousands of dollars to play with.
But maybe they have a way to parse it up into fractals. I mean, how else are you gonna how else are you gonna start with as low as $50?
I think if it's CME, you don't like it's centralized, so they don't let you do that.
They don't let you. All right, we were supposed to.
Or the day before yesterday.
We were supposed to do a short session.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head out and kick you guys off.
All right,
guys.
Well,
I got
thanks
dinner.
for joining us.
Get some rest.
Yeah. Go to cartoonmoneyprinters.com. Click the Start Now button. You can join us. We have several indicators. We got strategies. We got psychology coaching with Astronaut Toad.